The Nerdbilly Podcast welcomes you. The best damn podcast in the world just for you. The script is lame. They paid me to sing this tune. I'm not wearing pants.
You are now listening to the Nerdbilly Podcast, featuring two of the sexiest nerds alive, the dreamy Ed Webb and the adorable Phillip Drea Duncan. All right, boys, get in there and thrash around a bit.
You gotta shake it off, shake, just shake it off. Hello, everybody.
All right, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I think we're done. That's the episode.
Haters
Wrap it
gonna
up.
hate. And the fake is gonna fake. Potatoes
God.
gonna take.
Does it stop? Did you say potatoes?
Yeah.
He did. He said potatoes. Potatoes.
Yeah, they're gonna potate.
If I would have known this is what I was signing up for.
Oh yeah, this is it right here.
You just still came.
Yeah.
I've
Maybe
got
twice.
No, not if I'm involved. One and done if you're lucky. I'm an old man. 3.5 minutes, that's all I'm giving you.
So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too.
And Happy New Year for the second time.
Oh, yes.
Ed, are you gonna do introductions, or are you just gonna let people assume who Forrest is, or
Look,
are we gonna go through this every episode?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you would pay attention to the way things work, I never forget. You just want to jump the gun and get antsy. Women don't like that. You're gonna have to
Jump the gun.
Yeah.
Guy who opens a podcast singing something about potatoes.
It's Potato Swift. This is the Nerdbilly Podcast, episode 6, if I am not mistaken about that. And it has been a few months since we've done one of these bad boys. I think October 25th, right? Was the last time?
You don't have to say the date and point it out.
Oh, well, today is January 3rd, 2015, and like sneaking special brownies into the special ed class, we are the Nerdbilly Podcast.
That was good. I like that.
Thank you.
Did you practice that one?
Yes, I've been
beforehand, or-
thinking about that for weeks. Different variations and whatnot.
Have you introduced anybody yet?
Nope, I'm working on it. You keep interrupting me. To my right, we have the dreamy Phillip Drea Duncan.
No, I'm definitely leaving.
Hey, I'm not the Aussie chick that says that.
No, you're not.
And joining us today is Forrest.
Special guest. Woo!
Indeed.
Hi.
Hi. So, Phillip, you have something that we're going to jump right into.
Yeah, so I just stumbled across this little gem a little bit ago. And on Twitter today, there was a girl who made this tweet. Who is this Paul McCartney? He about to blow up thanks to Kanye. I'm not sure exactly what that's in reference to, but she has basically been trolled for the last 12 hours, and some of it's pretty funny.
I think what I gathered off my quick Google search is that Kanye was wanting to do a collabo with
Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of the songs pulled up right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I wish
don't
we had a
know.
soundboard we could link it in.
But anyways, people were giving her crap. One of her tweets is, "Kill yourself, 40-year-old emo rat," which I thought was pretty good. But it goes on, and it goes on until it goes to, "I wasn't even born in the 60s. How was I supposed to know who were the Beatles? I only listened to real artists like Migos and Iggy." I don't even know if I said that one right.
I don't even know if they're artists. What is that? Iggy is like one of the Koopa kids.
And then as you go up, it says, "My daughter is currently in the hospital for trying to take her own life. I hope all you bullies rot in hell for saying such mean and hateful things to my sweet little girl." My husband and I are screen shooting every hateful mention and turning them into the authorities. Every bully will be punished. Responses are, no they won't. Sorry to say, prosecutor fees for something this viral somewhere around hashtag Paul McCartney money, LOL. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
Oh man, that is great. Hashtag I'm loving it.
There's another one there that just tells him to shut up.
Just shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up.
I know I've read enough. A bit of a bully herself. She should listen to some calming John Lennon songs. Who's he? LOL. This is kind of your fault for raising an idiot.
Damn.
That's kind of true. I remember when I would say stupid things growing up, my mother would always look at me calmly and say, "Do you want people to really think you're that stupid?" And then I would go figure out what I was doing wrong.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure my mother called both of us stupid on many occasions.
I'm sure she did.
Do you remember when JR and I broke that expensive chair
Vaguely.
fighting over the computer? My mom had this really expensive, like old antique computer. Her chair wasn't meant for computers, just a really old chair, but she was using it for the computer, and we were fighting. I don't remember why we were fighting, but we totally shattered the chair. Like, it was funny because JR was sitting in it, and he went down, legs just blew out, splinters went flying everywhere, like it broke in like 1,000 places, and he hit the floor, and he looks up at me with this look of horror on his face, and he says, "Get the glue!"
Mine would have been get the duct tape, but
Yeah, it was hopeless. It wouldn't have happened.
It'd be like trying to glue together a Fabergé egg.
We would have been better off just cutting down a tree and trying to recreate the chair.
don't hurt my cousins.
Just whittling out on the front porch. Good times.
So, Ed, you like that song I wrote the other day?
Yeah, you wrote that?
I did.
You wrote that. Oh,
I wrote
was
that.
Great.
We should play it on the beginning of the podcast,
We really should.
or at the end of the podcast. That should be our closer for the podcast.
It should always be in the podcast.
I like it.
Sing it.
No, I didn't sing any of it. I just wrote it.
Sing it. You know the words.
I don't know the words.
Forrest hasn't heard it.
I haven't. You've piqued my curiosity now.
I can't sing. I'm not a singer. I write. I don't sing.
I can't sing either. That doesn't stop me.
Well, I'm about to get down, guys, because it's been singed into my head since I heard it.
Well, let's hear it, Ed.
It's very Creed-like, I think. You know, it's very Scott Stapp or whatever his name is when they're
It hurts
rocking it
my
out.
soul to hear that.
It should. But it's refreshing to hear some guy go, "Titty sprinkles,
What?
titty sprinkles, areolas."
There is a little bit of a backstory there. The backstory is that Jason, we were working on a song that Jason had started putting together, and we helped him finish it. It was really good. So then we were like, all right, let's do a song for Jeremy. And Jeremy was like, "Meh." And I was like, all right, I'm going to write you a song. What do you want it to be about? And he was like, titty sprinkles. And I was like, seriously, what do you want your song to be about? And he's like, titty sprinkles. I was like, all right. He kind of looked at me like, are you really going to write that? And I'm like, yeah. And I started writing, and he was like, I need at least 8 lines. I'm like, I'll get you 8 lines.
What were the lines? It was hard to understand what he was saying because it was
Oh,
very
man.
Creed-like, but
It was like, oh man, I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head now. It was real serious. Like, it was a real serious verse. And then it just led into the chorus.
yeah, I thought when I initially was listening to it, I had thought that it was something like, like a Creed song. It was all fake emotional and trying to be heartfelt and whatnot, but then he goes into the chorus, and then I had to listen, like, titty sprinkles?
Areolas.
Is he talking about nibbles? I mean, they are like the sprinkles and the icing on the cake. I mean, what would boobs be without them? You know, like a Barbie doll. Not as fun. Not as fun.
And you thought I was weird for wanting to marry a baby?
I don't.
Yeah.
Do we have time to discuss that?
No,
Do we have time to delve into that bit?
we might.
Who did you bring on our podcast?
Look, I wasn't expecting either him to bring that up the night before at the last podcast or at this time. But
Well,
I assure
you
you,
did it.
in context, it is perfectly not that weird. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
It's not like that at all.
Of course not. Why would it be?
I'm sure I said things just as bad.
So, Ed, have you been the last few months since you pointed out it's been like 3 months since we've done a podcast?
I've been all right, man. I've been working a lot. This time of year, everyone's always calling into their jobs, and I went from my nice 3-day, 40-hour weeks with 4 days off, the way I like things, lazy, to working like every freaking day. And though the money is great, I'm just about sick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to work, man.
No, that makes sense.
I don't
It's
have
very
any
American of you.
grand aspirations in life. I just want to make enough to pay my bills and do my hobbies.
That's fair.
But
So
my
lots
wife's-
happened.
Yeah, for you?
I don't know. I'm just saying a lot's happened. I don't know.
Oh,
I
in
feel
the
like
world?
I feel like in the last 3 months, lots of things have happened that I was like, hey, that'd be really good for the podcast. And then I forgot them.
That always happens.
I did go to Tulsa Comic-Con. That did happen.
Well, how was that?
That was wonderful. It was pretty cool. It was different. It was the biggest one I'd been to by like, I don't know, 10,000% or something like that. There was like 30,000 people there.
Nice.
Usually I go and there's like 1,000 people at a con, but this one had like 30,000.
That's a ton of people. I went to the 10th annual gathering of the Juggalos, and there was 22,000 people there, and that was a lot.
That's only a 300% increase.
Yeah. I didn't realize you were a math whiz, man. Awesome.
Someone's going to correct me.
Nice. I will forward their corrections to you. I will emblazon them in an old school like signature you would put on a forum with glitter and all that stuff, like the flashy old page forum things.
Do I get titty sprinkles?
If you can get your own titty sprinkles, you can have as many as you want.
Good.
I'm not
Good.
providing them.
Damn it.
That's called
What?
pimping.
I did break my personal record for most books sold at an event, which was cool.
Oh yeah.
I was excited about that.
Do you want to share that figure?
No, it's non-disclosed information.
Oh, gotcha. They can't see that.
I know they can, but you can.
Well,
Is that
you
an offer?
No. Ed, who is this guy? Marrying babies and asking me if me flipping you off is an offer.
I don't know.
Where's your cat at, Ed? It's bothering me that we're doing an episode and it's not doing disturbing things behind you. It just seems like every other episode I'm having to try to keep a straight face and pay attention because usually behind Ed is his cat and it's just doing crazy shit.
Like
What?
walking on the windowsill.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
Or
seen
just
No,
like, just-
you saw the kitten. Moogle's my older cat. He hasn't been around so much. He's been like bitter since we got a kitten, and
he like when we're doing the podcast, he like lays on the top of the couch and licks his crotch.
yeah.
And the whole time Ed's talking and I'm just like I'm not even listening. There are more interesting things happening right now.
See, you're questioning who I brought on the podcast, but then you're talking about how interesting it is to watch a cat fellatiate himself.
Well, my oddities are a given. They're to be expected. Everybody knows exactly what they're getting into.
So I can't be odd?
I think you're par for the course. Let's
No,
just
you're probably the right level of weird to be here.
Awesome.
You're probably the only one that's not mildly intimidated by the oddness. I don't think Flemmy Winks was too.
No, she had fun. I saw her at Comic-Con. And she was all about being on the podcast again.
Oh yeah, was she telling everybody to check it out?
I hope so.
Well, she better have been.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I tried to keep in touch with John for a while, but yeah, just didn't.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing negative. I just don't make friends very well.
Yeah, I talk to him occasionally.
It's a very
Wait.
amazing story.
John?
I know, man. I'm bad about like
Wait,
bringing
who's
things
John?
up.
We had John on the podcast?
H. John Upman.
What? No, it was Christopher Upjohn. That's what you're
Christopher
trying to say.
Upjohn.
His
Yeah,
name was
that's the
Chris.
guy. Chris.
Great. Now he's not going to want to be on the show again.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess I could have tried to invite him, but he wasn't on Facebook.
No, well, it is like 2 o'clock in the morning, so most normal people are asleep right now.
Yeah, I know. I asked Forrest if he wanted to be on it. He's like, "We're not gonna stay up till 4, are we?"
Also, again, my fault because I was like, yeah, Ed, we'll do it in a little bit. And then I started playing The Crew with Jason, who note his absence on the podcast,
Yeah.
and I lost track of time.
So is The Crew any good? I've been thinking about snagging it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Is it like Gran Turismo mixed with a role-playing game mixed with online racing people? Is it everything every racing game has ever aspired to be?
No,
No? Damn.
not quite that. It's more like Need for Speed mixed with an MMO. Like, there's not a ton of cars. I don't know, there's probably like 30 or 40 in there right now. But it's pretty fun, and I mean, you actually have like, it's set up like an MMO where you have like story missions to do, like story races to do. And then, like, if me and you were playing, then whenever you went to your story mission, you can pull me in and we can both race through your story races and stuff. It's pretty cool. Pretty fun.
Gotcha. So you can't like clan up with your homies and cruise cross country or anything?
Yes, you can do that.
Cat.
There's a cat. There's a cat. It's a kitten.
Her name is Lucia. Guess who I named her after?
Lunar.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Lunar? Yeah.
Yeah, Lunar too, the Eternal Blue.
I
Princess
remember
of the
things.
Blue Star.
Hey, guess what I just finished reading today?
Today, Waylander.
I did. Finished
Yeah?
reading Waylander again today.
I guessed it. Nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is your favorite book, so I figured that's where you would immediately go to.
It's one of my favorite books. Have you ever read the Waylander series or any David Gemmell books, Forrest?
No, I haven't.
You
Get
should
the
really
fuck
check
off the
them out.
podcast. No, David Gemmell is awesome. You should read everything that he ever wrote. But he just disappeared. I didn't really
Yeah.
want him to leave.
Yeah. David Gemmell's awesome. You know, I took a break from David Gemmell for a couple years when I was becoming like an adult and getting used to being an adult, and you know how it's difficult to
Yeah, that horrible time period in your life where you're like, oh shit, I gotta do adult things now.
pay bills. I don't got time for this. I got a
I'm s-
wife. What's going on? And
Got to buy fireworks for New Year's.
yeah, not in Oklahoma. I don't spend on frivolous things like fireworks. I only buy like video games and stuff. But
That's reasonable.
yeah, it's not frivolous.
Speaking of buying things,
Let me finish this.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So I took a break from him, and then one day I was like, I'm gonna Google this guy because, you know, I don't want to go to the store and read about him. So I'm just gonna Google him, and he'd been dead for like 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit.
Did you read that last trilogy he did? The
No.
Troy trilogy?
No.
It's actually really cool. He actually passed away when he was, I think, finishing maybe the second one. He was
And
like
his,
almost done.
Wife and son finished it. Wife and editor.
His wife and his editor finished it. Yeah, it was his wife finished it and his editor helped, but she actually sounds like her voice is like very similar to his. You almost can't even tell he's missing from the equation.
Gotcha. Well, she probably had to listen to him for all those years.
Right? Read
Makes
this
you
damn
wonder-
book, woman.
Makes you wonder who was really writing the books.
Probably both of them.
Probably he wrote them, and then she was like, "No, this is dumb. This is dumb. You're an idiot. This is dumb." I know because that's what my girlfriend did on my books before, she dumped me. Apparently, I wasn't a very good writer.
Well, I mean, I don't think she dumped you because you were a bad writer. Maybe because you were
Probably
a bad lover. But
That could be it too. Who knows?
I knew this guy. I went to school with him. I went to Votech with him in computer service. He was married because he had already graduated high school. He got married. And like 6 months into the marriage, he came to school one day and was like, she left me. She literally said, your penis is too small. We're getting a divorce. Like, wow. Ow.
Okay, I get the first part of that story's bad enough, but the fact he came into school and told everybody,
Yeah.
that seems like a good scenario to lie.
Yeah, I would lie.
Does that not seem like a Republican Jesus-approved lie? Like, you never have to tell the truth on that one.
Well, your penis being too small is generally a Republican trait, right?
I don't know.
Like, was it Richard Nixon said? It's a good Republican body, flabby and riddled with phlebitis.
I feel like probably there's just small dicks in politics all the way around.
Yeah, I think it's
So you
about
get to
likely.
Hillary because you know she's packing some heat.
Right, she's the real Iron Lady.
So we just had Christmas. How was Christmas?
Christmas was okay. My wife bought me a tablet, and I bought her a
Nice.
Keurig.
Nice.
And, I bought my brother and my parents a tablet, and then I bought
Whoa.
myself some underwear.
Nice.
Yeah, no, man, I wear underwear way too long. I wear them out. I don't buy new clothes ever, and I think every guy in the world can agree with this. But like, I walk so much at work that I walked the crotch out of them. It was just like the only parts that were there were the bands around the legs of the boxers. So it was like air conditioned, sure, but otherwise I had to get rid of them finally. Sad day.
That is really fascinating. Thank you for sharing that.
Look, if I didn't have
So-
random things to say, what would we talk about?
So I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but I wanted to get my dad something unique for Christmas. And you know, he's a huge Oklahoma Sooners fan, right? So I found him a football that was signed by Bob Stoops and Barry Switzer, which, if anybody doesn't know, those were the current head coach and old head coach of Oklahoma, the football team. So I'm like, holy shit, he's going to freak out about this. He's going to absolutely just love it. So I get the ball, and I order a really nice case for it, and it wasn't cheap either. And so I got it stashed away, hidden, and my dad comes walking up to me, and he's like, you're never going to believe what your aunt got me for Christmas. And I'm like, what? And he's like, she got me a football signed by Bob Stoops and Barry Switzer. And I'm like, no, she didn't. I'm like, you messing with me? Like, who told you what I got you? And he's like, what? So I just went and got it and threw it at him, basically. So, first of all, what are the odds that somebody would find that same gift and get it?
Now, does that mean it's any less authentic? Do you think someone's like pumping them out and selling them?
No, they've got certified cards with them and everything.
Well, I can print you a certified card. You want a certified card? I can make
Yeah. Anyways, and they're numbered for authenticity, or I can't even say that word. Yeah,
well,
look
I
at
can
me.
count, buddy.
But anyways, so crazier, it gets crazier. Not only did she get him the exact same ball that I got him, signed by the exact same two people, she got him the exact same fucking case to put it in. So I was pissed. You can only imagine, because I was like, this is the coolest gift I could have possibly got him. Nobody would ever think to get him that. So fast forward to this year, right? Trying to figure out what to get. My dad's not easy to shop for. But we're at the mall. Me and my sister and my friend are at the mall, and they have this little cabana hut in the center, you know, those stupid things where they sell trash. Well, this one had grill utensils that had sports team logos. And so, like, they had an OU cut into the spatula thing. It was awesome. They're a really nice set. I'm like, yeah, there we go. Surely no one will get one of these. Well, guess what? Someone fucking did. Someone he works with got him the exact same goddamn thing I got him. Again.
Just can't catch a break, can you?
No, but you know what's funny? Last year, I took all my Christmas money and I donated it to charity. And
Humble brag.
yeah, right. But no, you have to know that part to know this part. So my dad's been giving me shit all year about giving his Christmas money away to charity. He's like, I want my fucking gift. I want my fucking gift, right? So this year I decided to mess with him. And so I made a donation to Toys for Tots, and they give you like an official letter that says, oh, you donated this amount, whatever. So I took it and I changed my name to his name, and I changed the amount to something significantly higher, and I folded it up and put it in an envelope for him, which I thought was going to be really funny, but it wasn't. He just opened it and looked at it and was like, wow, that's dumb. Did you really give him that much money? Like, man, I can't win. I give up.
Win. That's why people commit suicide around Christmas.
Because I can't figure out what to get people for gifts, or
Yeah,
people get the
it's
same
too
gifts.
Stressful. Far too stressful. Horace, do you have any horrible stories around Christmas that can be funny? Not like horrible, bring up bad memories kind of stories, but horrible, funny stories. And times.
I mean, which one do you want?
Pick one.
My parents are nudists,
All right.
so Christmas was spent pretty much around a tree with naked parents. I mean, which Christmas do you want? I've been to 20 of them.
Ugh. I just don't know who you are. I thought I'm gonna bring this guy in. He's pretty cool. We've done some shows together. He's currently working to edit with me, but you know.
Forrest, best nudist parent story, go.
They're all so similar. I mean,
Okay,
How-
well then you
how
gotta
many
tell us
years
one,
of
and then we'll
me-
know. Okay, even better.
okay.
Did you ever bring a date home and your parents were nudists?
Yep,
Tell us how that worked. How did that go?
it's simple. I told her to wait in my vehicle. I went inside and was like, I have a female friend in the vehicle. Can y'all either get dressed and leave, or get dressed and stay in your room, or just stay in your room? And we stayed in our room.
Gotcha. So you didn't have like the
There's
awkward,
no awkward moment.
like she goes to shake hands and she just is stunned.
What about parent-teacher conferences were awkward?
Well, if they didn't have, nudity laws, they would have been.
Thank God for those laws.
See, I don't have kids, but my wife and I are nudists. Like we don't put clothes on unless we absolutely have to.
Wow, Ed put on clothes to do the podcast with us. We should feel honored, I think, or something.
I'm a little disappointed.
He's
So-
trying to make me feel awkward, but little does he know, I'm just flattered. That's cool. Doesn't bother me.
Ed and I had a friend in junior high, and I was staying at his house one night, and his house was separate from his parents. Like, his parents made him his own house, like behind their house. And I had to use the restroom one night, and he was like, all right, well, if the light's off in the living room, just walk in. But if the light's on, then not, because they're still up. And I was like, all right. So I walk up, and it looked like the light was off. I could not have been more wrong. I walked in, and his parents were getting it on in the living room. Exceptionally awkward.
Oh, and they were old too.
His mom got up and ran out. And his dad was just like, hey, Philip,
What's up?
Yeah.
should have knocked. Did you need something? I was like, I just need to go to the bathroom. He's like, oh, it's right down the hall.
Man, I remember one time I stayed out there during the winter in that little shed out back, and there was no heat at all. And he's like, just bundle up. But he only had enough blankets for himself, so I'd like have to take a Zippo lighter and like flick it on and let it heat up. Then I would shut it and like hold it against my body because that's the only warmth. Good times. Good times.
I don't know if you're telling the truth here.
I'm dead serious.
That's definitely the truth.
If it wasn't for the cigarettes and the constant chattering of teeth, I would have froze to death.
I mean, if you needed a cuddle buddy.
No. We were too manly. I did make him sleep on the floor, though, since he had the blankets.
That's funny.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, that same guy, one time, he came over to my house after school, and my brother was in the bathroom just, whacking off. Because it was after school. That's, what he did. He relieved his stress of the day. But our buddy didn't know that was the ritual, so, he just walked over and was like, oh, who's in there? And my brother was like, oh, it's me. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he kicks the door open trying to, startle my brother. And then he just falls to the ground holding his eyes. He's like, oh, God, make it stop. And then
What did you learn?
I just want to chime in that I know Ed's brother, and I guarantee you he finished.
Yeah, no, he didn't stop. He just looked up like, can you shut that, please? A little busy here.
Guaranteed. He just finished his business. Ugh.
I didn't think I'd meet people with families as strange as mine. Nice to meet y'all.
No, my parents
We're
were
keeping
very
it relatively
realistic.
keeping it relatively PG. Actually, there's family members who might listen to this. I got to be careful who I talk about, or that cuts out 75% of the stories I could tell.
Right. Well, it's probably for the best. We do have a long lifespan ahead of us.
That is true.
Yeah, I hope. If they keep
wow.
going like this, I mean, shit. My parents were always relatively realistic, and I imagine having nudist parents, they would have to be realistic people too. They probably didn't bullshit you around any. My parents didn't. I remember one time I was playing Zelda because my parents would have two TVs, one to play video games on and one to watch. And I was sitting in the living room playing Ocarina of Time, and on HBO there was this documentary about breasts. It was the titty monologue or something like that. I was playing that game, and then I look over because it's all these average women, young, old, saggy, heavy, scrawny, small, titless, and they're all just talking about what life is like with tits, and it was a breast cancer awareness kind of thing. I was like, do we have to watch this? Because I don't want to watch this with my mother. And she was like, look, this isn't even pornographic. Don't be a prude. I'm like, oh, okay. Are you intimidated by titties?
My mother would
13.
call me in every now and then and be like, hey, Forrest, look at this. And I stopped going in there whenever she said, look at this. One day, whenever she showed me something, and I'm like, what is that? And it was fleshy colored, yes, taking up the entire screen, and it was this Italian chick pooping in another Italian chick's mouth.
What the
I would just like to say that the Nerdbilly Podcast is not endorsed by Mr. Forrest.
Yeah, he's a guest. Let's just keep that in mind.
But hey, at least it's funny, right? You can't beat that.
God.
No, you can't. I just kind of stormed off to my room, locked the door, and...
I can't imagine if my mom was like, have you ever seen Two Girls, One Cup? Oh.
No, Mother. And I'm not going to.
And you shouldn't. You haven't seen Two Girls, One Cup?
Actually, I have, unfortunately.
It's not the kind of thing that goes away, is
No,
it?
it's not. It really isn't.
Hmm.
At all. Yeah.
I guess there's nowhere to go from here but up.
How about that new Dragon Age game?
Yeah, that new Dragon Age game.
Pretty
that's
good.
A pretty good game. I wish I would have bought it.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, well, I've been renting it when I have time.
Oh, yeah? How far into it are you?
12 hours. I'm just about totally
Wow.
finished with the hinterlands, and I went to the place with all the diseases, like the diseased monsters that poison you and whatnot.
So you only have about 100 hours left. No problem.
Seems that way.
Yeah, it's long. There's actually a span in there where if you're just trying to do all the side missions, like, the type of stuff we normally do, if you're just trying to do the side missions, there's actually like a span of like 50 hours where you don't even hit a storyline mission.
Nice. I didn't even know how to talk to people. I didn't do the I hope he's not like carrying his phone into the living room to like show us his parents or anything. But
I think he's gone. He's muted,
yeah.
and his screen is black. We may have lost Forrest. Forrest?
Can't see the forest through the
Oh,
trees.
there he's back. He's still muted though, but
I muted it so that I could pour tea without messing up the recording.
Fair enough.
oh,
Thank you. I
that
didn't
was
do the
awfully quiet. But now we have to listen to you drink.
Oh, now you're just gonna cough and choke all over our recording? Did you die on mute?
He didn't mute himself.
I didn't do any of like that first area after you learn about the hinterlands. I went directly there. So I never talked to the apothecary, I never talked to the blacksmith, I never talked to anyone at the war table, you know? So
Oh,
for
yeah.
the first like 10 hours, I was like, how do I talk to my party members? How do I do the cool thing about BioWare games where you get to like, put the moves on one of the characters? How do you do that shit? And then I went back to that place. I was like, oh, all this newbie stuff I got to do.
It's funny. That's pretty good though. It leaves you hanging in true BioWare fashion. I'm ready for number 4.
Who'd you hook up with?
None, because that quest actually glitched out.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't actually finish that quest. I had like 5 or 6 side quests that glitched out. I wasn't able to complete.
Bummer. Forrest, have you played Dragon Age Inquisition yet?
No.
No? Have you played any of the Dragon Age games?
I played Dragon Quest.
What are you doing with your life, Forrest?
Playing JRPGs. Have you played Mass Effect?
Nope.
Wow.
Awkward silence.
Yeah. Not even Mass Effect? Ah, that's such a good series. Okay, in
That's so
Mass
sad.
Effect, who'd you bang?
Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Who didn't I?
Yeah, I think I played
All
through
of
every
them.
time, yeah.
Oh.
Even Freddie Prinze Jr. at one point.
What?
Well, I mean, you gotta play through as the female shepherd to get all the achievements.
Do you? I didn't.
No, I did.
I always had the same shepherd who looked like a skinnier, older version of me.
Yeah, I never changed my shepherd. I always kept them default.
Nice.
Yeah, so have you seen any trailers for the new Final Fantasy 15?
I did.
Did you?
It looked weird.
Yeah,
Bunch of Japanese dudes driving around in a car, pulling over occasionally to stab some beast.
while it seems odd, it's beautiful at least, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, no, I'll definitely play it. I just it was pretty interesting, as they normally are.
Forrest, do you have anything to say about the new Final Fantasy 15?
Sid's a female.
Yeah, she is.
Sid's a chick this time, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cindy. What are your thoughts on that, Philip?
I don't know.
See, I would have went with Sydney if I was the naming person, because at least that's really close to Sid, right?
Right?
Yeah,
Instead of
same here.
Cindy. But she's a chaw-chewing, wrench-slinging lady.
That's weird.
Yeah, probably too manly for me.
Ed, do you remember Exo Squad?
Yeah, I remember Exo Squad. Forrest, do you know about Exo Squad?
Man, I sound like a really lame guest host here. No, I have no clue what Exo Squad is.
Oh my god, they were amazing. So I was at my mom's house and she had a box of my brother and I's old Exo Squads. So I grabbed the one out of there that was mine because I just had one in there that was mine. Of course, now my brother and I are having I guess an argument we'll probably carry to the grave about whose it actually belonged to. He says it was his. It's fucking mine. But Exo Squad was the shit. I brought it home with me. I got it on a shelf.
Nice.
What is it?
It's like the American
I'll go get it.
Channel
Hold on.
34.
I'll be back.
Okay. It's like the Americanized Channel 34 series of Gundam. You know, it's mobile exosuits that you wear in battle and mine and stuff in, but it's not completely enclosed. So it's more like akin to the Pandora exosuit as opposed to a Gundam itself.
So, like Final Fantasy VI, I believe, is that the one with her?
Yeah, with the Magitech
they're-
armor.
Yeah, like that?
Well, you don't ride on top of it, but similar, yeah.
Okay.
The guy's inside of it. You probably can't see, but he's in there.
It's like the movie Aliens
Oh, he's
when
headless.
she's using the dock loader. You've
Okay.
seen Aliens, right?
Uh,
At some point, you just gotta start
Sure.
lying.
yeah, I've seen it.
You haven't seen
It's a
Alien?
good movie.
All right, so we need to just put together a list of homework for Forrest.
Right, definitely.
My homework is already becoming extensive with everything else I have to do.
Well,
Yeah, I sent him a link earlier and said, "You've been recruited to edit podcasts here." And he's like, "But my laptop is breaking." And I was like, "Look, I thought you were a go-getter. I didn't know you were going to make excuses." Like,
Forrest, have you ever listened to our podcast?
Yes.
Yes, I'm shaking my head up and down. That means yes. So you love our intro, right?
Yeah,
So
I do.
good. Yeah. What is our intro?
I can't replicate it.
Take time drinking your tea, because we totally didn't hear that.
I wouldn't be able to replicate it.
That's funny. I haven't heard the intro in a while.
okay, hang on. I'm going to try to bring it up.
In like 3 months, right?
Yeah, give or take.
If I play this video and it completely throws...
Is that the kitten?
Yes, that's the kitten. Actually, I don't know if I can play this video because I have headphones in and you wouldn't hear it through the microphone.
That's all right. I could just hit play from the beginning of our conversation. Haha, get it, listener? It's clever. It wasn't. It wasn't. Awkward silence.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Phil said something stupid. Let's have an awkward moment. Drink it, gulp it down there, Forrest. Make sure it's loud
You're
and clear for us.
stupid.
Oh, he muted himself.
Are we just going to point it out every time I do it?
Yes. Every single time. All right, Ed, it's been 3 months. Do you have a poo crime for us?
I might. Hang on, I think I figured out how to add the video for the Hangout to view.
No,
Yeah.
that's a real thing. So what did you guys do for New Year's?
I bought my fireworks for the first time.
Yeah, apparently they buy fireworks and pop fireworks on New Year's.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a thing? Do you guys do that in Missouri?
I don't do that.
Yeah.
But I know it's a common thing to do. We actually talked about it because we had some old fireworks and we had a party and stuff. So first we went to the casino and tried to win a Corvette. We didn't.
Of course not. You guys didn't apply yourself.
No, apparently we did not put forth enough. Actually, you know what's really funny? I picked my friend Jeremy, right? And so you have to be able to try to put in for the Corvette, you had to like rack up points by playing. So you had to get like one of their cards and like put it in the machine while you're playing, and it racked up so many points, and you had to have like 150 points to put in for it. So he was like just shy of 150 points, and they weren't doing the drawing till 8. So he finally hit it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I guess I should run up there soon." And he's like, "I'll just play for a few more minutes, you know." And he was like, "Okay." It was like 7:50ish, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna run up there," because you had to go swipe your card in this machine, then it printed out a ticket, then you had to take the ticket up and put it in the drawing deal. He's like, "All right, I'm gonna go take care of my ticket." He gets up, walks like 20 feet. After we've been playing for like 2.5 hours to try to rack up enough points to actually put in for the car.
Right.
He gets up, walks like 20 feet, and the guy comes over the intercom and goes, "Okay, putting in tickets is now closed. The machine is not going to spit out any more tickets for the Corvette. We will begin the drawing here in just a few minutes."
So he missed out totally, huh?
Oh, he totally missed it. It was hilarious.
Bummer. You think he would have won anyway?
Yeah, he probably would have.
No one ever wins things like that.
No one ever wins. The chick who actually won it passed out.
Did you? I would too.
Oh yeah, she fainted. They had it over. The guy on the intercom was like, "And the winner is such and such." Where's she? Oh, she's right there. Oh, can we get security up here? No, seriously, we need security up here. She fainted.
Nice. My New Year's was, I had to work New Year's at this big high-rise apartment complex in the city. There was like a party on every floor, and I just got to
Nice.
sit there and enjoy watching all these people party while I had to stay sober.
So I sound good.
Yeah, you sound
Still.
pretty good on those.
Yeah. Thank you, Turtle Beach, for making me sound good in my podcast.
We are not sponsored by Turtle
We are
Beach.
not sponsored. We are not sponsored by Turtle Beach at
They
all.
want
Yeah,
to pay us
we
money
should be.
though.
Send us some shit.
Yeah.
We totally just gave you a free advertisement.
Right. Yeah, the mic quality sounds a hell of a lot better than just talking it into the mic on your laptop.
Or that other headset I was using. In case anybody's interested, this is the Turtle Beach P12 for the PS4. Again, we are not sponsored.
You gonna do a product review? Any flaws, pros, cons?
Apparently they're pretty awesome. I don't even use them that much. Tonight was the first time I used them playing the crew. It's pretty awesome. It sounds like the person's inside your head.
So I'm literally inside your head right now.
Yeah, it's real creepy. Are you doing your Darth Vader impression?
Yes.
Dude, I have that same Darth Vader piggy bank.
Do you? My sister-in-law
Dude.
bought that for me for Xmas.
Nice.
Indeed. Speaking of Star Wars, did you see the new trailer?
I did.
What'd you feel about the new trailer?
So, when it first started, I was like, okay. Stormtroopers, cool. Neat lightsaber, that's interesting. Oh, those X-Wings look cool going over the water. But, like, I didn't really get excited until I saw the Falcon. And then I honestly got goosebumps. I was just like, the motherfucking Falcon.
Mm.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's pretty stoked when I saw the Falcon. I'm not gonna
Do you
lie.
have hope for it? Do you think it's going to be good?
I don't know. It can't be worse than what George Lucas did with the prequels, so...
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been dogging on the prequels, I've noticed in these episodes.
Have
I remember I was there when those prequels came out, and you loved them just as much as everyone else did.
I did at the time, yes, I did. And, you know, there's a lot of good things about the prequels. There's a lot of bad things about them, too, though.
Gotcha. Forrest, Star Wars, do you like the prequels or the originals?
Have you seen it? Have you ever heard of it?
What is this Star Wars you speak of? No,
Now
I'm
he's
kidding.
just yanking our puds.
Yeah. Have I seen the trailer? No, I haven't. I'm holding back on that so that it's a fresh new experience whenever I get to it. No spoilers.
It's probably the best way to go.
Yeah.
But how about the
It's
originals?
funny we said the originals. Yes, I've seen them. I really didn't have any particular opinion about the continuity of it or the what George Lucas did with the prequels. There were movies, and I watched them, and I probably won't watch them again.
My wife specifically never watched them. Like, she's a big Star Wars buff. That's like the one nerd thing we have in common, because otherwise she's like anti-video games and all this stuff I love, she doesn't. Except Star Wars. She loves Star Wars and sci-fi and space. And
So Star Wars video games?
she liked Mass Effect. That's about as close as it gets.
Take it.
Specifically, Mass Effect 2. And
Nice.
oh yeah. Mass Effect's such a fucking good game.
They really are.
Anyway,
Good job on the mute there. On the mute there, Forrest.
Every
is
time.
How is that tea, by the way? Is it good?
Empty.
makes me
empty.
thirsty. My soda melted into ice water. It's sad.
I have water. That's what I. Woo!
Nice. I need a big jug of beer.
Yeah. Your half-gallon can of beer.
Where was I going with all this? Oh, she specifically didn't watch the prequels when they came out. And she didn't watch the prequels until just recently, like a month ago. And it was after we had watched the originals. Well,
Forrest is holding a lightsaber.
he's like the New Year's Day Jedi.
New Year's Jedi.
That's how Jedis lose their hands.
Ed, were you gonna bring that around to something, or
Yes, I was going to bring that around to something that we watched all of them recently, and they're not terrible. I don't think they're terrible if you just don't, pick it apart.
right?
Jar Jar is every bit as racist as everyone says he is, and
My big beef. I never had a real big problem with Jar Jar. He's just annoying, but
he's annoying, that's for sure.
problem was Anakin.
Yeah, what a
Anakin
bitch.
just ruined it for me.
Anakin's whining ruined it for me.
And his terrible acting. I'm sorry, Hayden Christensen, but it's true. You're fucking awful. It was awful. And he didn't even fit. Like, that was what was supposed to become Darth Vader. Come on.
Yeah, right. Like, there's no way he grew 6 foot tall,
Yeah.
Like, the original Darth Vader was massive, and he
Like,
wasn't.
You would have
Well, I
thought.
mean, he lost
like,
his legs.
Yeah.
Fair
And
enough.
what was I loved I always
Prosthetics?
I know it was supposed to be like, I don't know, but the whole Anakin, don't do it. I have the higher ground. After they've been like jumping off of like burning pillars and flying through the air and shit, and then one just happens to be on a hill and he's like, I've got the higher ground, don't do it.
Well, maybe he's trying to bluff him.
No, I don't know.
No.
Just know that there were times where it was just like, fuck it, let's just do this.
If we're gonna start picking it apart, okay, we're not going to enjoy any part of it, because
I like Yoda. I
Who
liked
doesn't like
Plo Koon.
Yoda?
Plo Koon was awesome. Mace Windu was fun.
Mace Windu, yeah.
Do you think the goddamn motherfucking droids you're looking for?
I'm tired of these motherfucking droids on this plane.
Come on, Samuel rocked it with the purple lightsaber.
Oh yeah, he copywrote that. Like no other Jedi can have a purple
I
lightsaber.
know, I heard that. It's so awesome.
So awesome.
So Sam Jackson.
I really wish that in episode 2, when Jango Fett's head got sliced off, when he lifted the helmet up, his head would have just fallen out of the helmet. That would have just been
Right.
perfect.
Right? All right, Ed, how long have we been going?
Long enough. We can start to wrap it up if you want.
Let's do that. I want to hear your newest poo crime, and then
It's not so good. I feel kind of guilty.
you don't have a good one. You don't have a good one?
I
I guess
mean,
you don't have to do a poo crime. We could just end the cast with titty sprinkles.
Titty sprinkles. I could have played it off of my phone, and the speaker on the phone would have picked up on the microphone.
And you tried your headphones first?
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm done.
Just gave up on the hat, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Here is the second poo crime I ever wrote into that podcast, which they read. I must say that I was rather amazed when I listened to the episode entitled She's a Lady, Damn It, to find that you read my poo crime. For this, I would like to say thank you for giving us Olympic quality shit slingers a place to express some of our proudest achievements without fear of being chased by angry mobs wielding torches and pointy sticks. Since the show hit, the information superhighway, there has been a heavy sense of pride that wafts through my home. Even my wife, whom I had never told this story to before, seems to act a tad bit different around me. It's as if she's so proud she cannot find the words to say. I like to think she's a bit starstruck. As you guys have undoubtedly discovered by this point in your careers, it is always difficult to maintain humor without becoming gimmicky. I found myself feeling this way when I was trying to write the next chapter in my autobiography entitled Bloody O-Ring, Confessions of a Nameless Serial Poo Criminal Named Eduardo. In times like this, I feel great pressure. I retreat to the meditation of my restroom. But this time, even as I perched atop my porcelain throne of concentration, I could not attain the mental solace I so desperately needed. My mind wrestled with the important questions. Things like, what should I write now? Where should I edit our vacation photos at this year? And more importantly, why is it even now my court-appointed psychiatrist insists that this is not a healthy outlet for my overactive imagination? Sadly, it seems that nobody can appreciate the Jedi-like bond we share. I tried to fire this one as well, but the court order states in no uncertain terms that I do not have the authority to do so. But, as is always the case, while sitting in my think tank of stank, looking up at the framed photo of us skiing cross-country at Beaver Creek Resort in Colorado a few years back, searching for some cosmic muse, I was suddenly struck by inspiration. The story which you are about to read is an excerpt from my past. What happens in this story seems to set the tone for my life as an outlaw to come. This is the tale of the first in a long string of poo crimes, fecal felonies, and shit scandals spanning just under 3 decades. You could consider what follows an origin story, the likes of which Wolverine and Superman would fight to the death in a puddle of the man who molested Peter Parker for the ability to claim the story as their own.
What? A man who molested Peter Parker?
Yeah, that was in... I cliff noted it. Spider-Man and the Power Pack, Child Abuse, PSA, 1984. It was a man named Skip. The year was 1994. I was 8 years old, and like most latchkey kids living in a small town, I spent most of those magical few months between one grade and another hanging out with the same group of kids, the parents of whom seemed to work just as much as my parents did. Now, to be honest with you guys, when I say hanging out, what I really mean is that the group of kids I attached myself to would roam the streets of our town day in, day out, filthy, bored, and looking for trouble. I liken it to the bandits in that Mad Max movie, The Road Warrior. Every day our group would meet up after lunch at this one particular creek. This particular creek, in all of its arboreal splendor, was our fortress of solitude, because the surrounding trees allowed us the freedom to do childish things like smoke cigarettes. We would each pilfer from our respective parents and look at mid to late 80s issues of Fiesta, Hawk, and Naughty Neighbors, obtained in a similar fashion, all while being protected from prying eyes by the surrounding trees. The only house nearby belonged to this old man who was usually far too drunk to give us any number of fucks about what was going on across the creek, until one day he got a little too drunk and stumbled down off of his porch, only to accost us from the other side of the creek. "You little shits! Get the hell out of those trees!" the crusty old asshole announced, and then spent the next several minutes slobbering on himself and bellowing other obscenities before growing weary and returning to his porch, where he continued drinking. He was soon asleep, right there on the porch in his rocking chair. The oldest of our group, our Lord Humongous, if you enjoy the Road Warrior reference, suggested that we should steal his ice chest that the old man kept on his front porch. So we did. The logic was fairly simple. Fuck this guy. And when we returned to our hideout, we decided as a group that we should reward our belligerent friend by each donating a freshly pinched loaf into the ice chest. Our fearless leader went first, laying an impressive pipe that wrapped around in an unbroken fashion through the bottom of the ice chest like a wrist-sized, corn-filled brown snake. The second man up to bat was my older brother, whom had a horrible case of greasy brown mud butt to add to the mix. Being the gentleman, I allowed the leader's younger sister to take her turn before me. I don't really want to describe her wretched donation, but I believe it is fair to say that I learned that day that women have fucked up digestive systems. A fact that was later reaffirmed, in my opinion, by my short stint as a housekeeper at our local shopping mall, but that is another story altogether. Stay tuned for the future chapter entitled Elbow Deep in 24 Turlets. Finally, it was my turn. I took my place on the makeshift toilet sheet and squeezed out a surprisingly dry, yet shockingly tan hand grenade-sized lump, which landed with an audible plop into the soupy monstrosity. We scooped the ice back into the chest, minus a few of the beers in order to conceal our gift for him, and replaced it on his porch, where the crotchety bastard still slept peacefully. I don't know what happened when he awoke, because like the forward-thinking youngsters we were, we scattered into the oncoming twilight and spent the next few days laying low. For the rest of the summer, we had decided to move our meeting area to the secondary hideout designated on the other side of town, and oddly enough, by the end of that summer, that creek had been dammed by the city and the trees had all been cleared. I like to think I had a hand in that. Until next time, my friends. Signor Eduardo il Grande Mayocuyo. P.S. If you're wondering how we wiped, we used leaves.
What in God's name did I just listen to?
It was pretty good, Ed. You're right. It wasn't as good as the other ones, but it's pretty good.
Right, yeah. Well, I was in a rush. That was the second one I did, and I specifically didn't read that one yet because I wasn't so proud of it. But it's all I had available. The last thing I wrote into him was a mildly homoerotic fan fiction of the hosts of that podcast, and yeah.
Yeah, we can pass on that. We don't need that one on our cast.
Yeah,
I vote that we do it.
Yeah, well, I'll forward their podcast where they read it to you. You can listen to them, pick it apart, and be very mean to me about it. So do you want to hear that titty sprinkles real quick?
Yes. I want titty sprinkles on top of my ice chest full of poop.
I don't want an ice chest full of poop.
Why not? It seems like a fun idea.
It wasn't. Do you know that a lot of the smell is cut down by the water that's in a toilet? If there's no water, it's not nice.
Yes, that's how I used to catch flies for my pet frog.
Yep, don't have time to delve into that one either.
Now, was that on your...
Yeah, it's under my Phillip Dreher Duncan account. The video's titled Sprinkles. I don't even want to podcast anymore. I just want to sit here and play with this Exo Squad. That's what's in it.
Here it is.
From God, just sprinkles, just sprinkles, just sprinkles, just sprinkles, just sprinkles, just sprinkles,
What?
You are welcome. Now, I can promise you, you're going to be laying in bed tonight trying to go to sleep, and you're just going to think constantly, a tin of sprinkles!
Titty sprinkles. All right.
Okay.
Well,
That's been episode 6 of the Nerdbilly Podcast. Forrest,
And
I
I
would like to thank you for your strangeness arriving on the podcast with us and accepting the abuse that we have doled out to you.
yes, that was good. And I promise we will not take another 3 months before the next episode.
I should hope not.
Don't make
Well-
promises you can't keep.
Back on task.
Forrest, is there anything you'd like to say to the listeners before we log off?
Thanks for listening to me gulp my tea, guys.
Oh, you're just so mean.
Yeah, that, and I apologize for not being as nerdy as I could be.
You did fine. You did a wonderful job, Forrest.
No, the dynamic of Philip and I is mostly give and take abuse, you know? So, you know, that's what we do. That's how things get done.
Y'all should be carpenters.
What, like the ones that sing about why do doves appear? Because it would be considerably more raunchy. It would be like, why do titty sprinkles suddenly appear every time you take your top off around here?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, you
No
don't
one
know
does.
the Carpenters.
No
on
one
it.
does.
That's getting edited. So,
Good.
Philip,
All right,
anything
well-
else to say?
Thank you for listening.
Do you have any new books out, new works out?
No.
Okay, I'll edit that too, so you don't seem like a loser.
No, I've got. I should have a new one coming out early in the year. I haven't heard from the publisher, so I don't know exactly when. But I wrote a story in a collection called The Black Fedora, published by Prose Productions, and it features a story about a character called the Warden. And I should have a novel about him going to print early this year. So keep your eyes open for it.
Awesome. All right. See
All
you
right.
guys later.
See ya.
Bye.